Good morning. Good
Hey,
morning.
good morning, Bill.
I want to talk to you about John. I don't know if you saw last week had a new book released, and it is "We Are One: Neo-Tribes and Tribal Analytics in the 21st Century America." So, what have you learned here in the study of our tribes?
Well, that basically, rather than just relying on demographics to help us explain who people are and what their behavior is, that there are attributes and values that people have where they sort of place themselves these days into their own tribes. So this is about 7 years worth of research, and it started really from the bottom up. We polled 4,000 people and asked them 21 open-ended questions, no forced choices.
Yeah.
What's the motto that governs your life? What are the two defining moments in your life? What brand speaks to you? Those sorts of things, and we compiled them all and essentially asked people to name their own tribes. And over the process of talking to thousands of people, we've come up with 11 distinct tribes, and then the process to capture what we call emerging tribes. This is a very dynamic world, and some tribes may form and then fall by the wayside, but there appear to be 11 constant tribes.
And talk about, can you go over them a little? I know there's 11,
sure.
but what are the tribes? Where do?
Well, there is the God Squad. Those who say that their lives are governed by their faith in God, and it's Christians, Muslims, Jews, all stripes.
Yeah.
Tending to be obviously very simple in their tastes and in their expectations. They're the happy hedonists, those who eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. They skew younger, but there are also plenty of happy hedonists who are 65 years of age and older. To me, one of the more interesting ones, the persistence. I learned that there are a lot of people out there, many more than you would think, who said that their lives are defined by some sort of tragic or catastrophic event, the loss of a child or a loved one or a serious accident. And what they seek is, the path to survival, the day-to-day struggle to surmount this horrible obstacle that has defined their lives. There are others. The one true path are religious conservatives who want to talk mainly, however, about global poverty and global warming, and want to talk less about gods and guns and so on.
So those people might. It is interesting because you see those that are very religious. There is the side that has, for instance, abortion is a very big issue and things like that. But then you have those that really want to reach out and bring their religion to others and travel and even to different countries. It's interesting to see the different sections or the different tribes that use religion as a key part of their life.
Well, it really is, and the takeaway one of the takeaways from the book, the title is "We Are Many, We Are One," is that we have distinct differences, and yet what I found were significant tribal border crossings. So, in other words, counterintuitively, there are happy hedonists who intersect with the goals they have in life and the things they want to do and the way they see things with a God Squad. And so a happy hedonist will say, I'm deeply concerned about global warming. And the people, the God Squad, will say, I'm deeply concerned about man's stewardship of God's earth. And in effect, what they're doing is saying the same thing, only within their tribal context.
Yeah.
So my message is, whether it's political strategists or marketers or people in HR that are trying to find people that will fit a certain job category, look more deeply than the surface and look for people's attributes, not necessarily, whether the fact that they're simply a millennial or they come from the Northeast.
It's interesting, too, the life that people live. For instance, when you speak to a grandparent that maybe lived through the Depression, their styles, their habits, completely different than the post-baby boomer or this generation that's grown up with the electronics and having all of these things and going on vacations. Their parents and grandparents probably didn't do that. There's a very big difference, right, based on
very big.
what
and
you went through.
I spent a lot of time, as you know, dealing with age cohorts and how they see their world so differently. What the process I call tribal analytics has taught me is that even within those age cohorts and demographics, there are these distinct differences, and that, in effect, I let people organize themselves into their own tribes. That's also what makes this book unique, as opposed to the usual kind of marketing tool whereby a few people sit around the table and they package people, pre-package people.
We are many, we are one. Neo-tribes and tribal analytics in the 21st century, or in 21st century America. The latest book
on Amazon and on the Zogby Analytics website.
All right, good stuff, John. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
John Zogby, and that's his latest book. Birthdays today. Bill Parman in Little Falls celebrating today. William, happy birthday. You get a cake from the Florentine Pastry Shop on Bleecker Street in Utica. Get a birthday on through our website. Go to WIBX950.com or send a postcard to 9418 River Road, Marcy, 13403. Christine with news next in 2 minutes on WIBX.